Hi everyone, this is Virtual Comedy Night with Sky Stage in Frederick, Maryland. If you don't know who I am, that's all right. I'm Stacy Axler, and for the past, oh my gosh, I can't even believe it, but over 3 years now, I have been hosting spring and summer comedy nights at Sky Stage, which is one of my favorite venues ever in Frederick, Maryland. Me and the rest of the comedians who love to do comedy nights are kind of just trying to do some virtual programming right now while we're all practicing social distancing. So we're certainly thinking about everyone impacted by COVID-19, and we're hoping that everyone is staying safe and staying healthy during this time. We would like to shout out Sky Stage, which is putting together a lot of really great virtual events right now. So you can check them out online, and I'm going to link their Facebook page and their website in the description of this video to find out more. Sky Stage and the Frederick Arts Council, which is the body that manages Sky Stage, is also hosting a GoFundMe right now for local Frederick artists. And if you would like to contribute to this GoFundMe, which I encourage you to do, I am linking that in this video description as well. I'm really excited to host this comedy night because I am joined by 3 Sky Stage regulars. So if you have been to a Sky Stage comedy night in the past, you have probably seen these 3 comics. They are great. Everyone at Sky Stage always enjoys them, and I hope you will too. And when we all get to go to Sky Stage again in a few months and be together, you will see them, you will be able to see them live. So without further ado, I am very excited to welcome our first comic, very, very funny gentleman. Please welcome Jeff Tyson.
Hey, thank you. Thank you, Stacy. Look forward to being back at Sky Stage as soon as possible. Everybody's calling each other now. Phone calls are back. Well, a guy from high school, that's a long time ago for me, called me, and I asked why he called, and he said he was just going through the yearbook, just touching base with people. And that was very nice, except I quickly remembered that back in high school, he was a dick. But it's been a long time. People change, I've changed, so we talked for a half hour. And let this be a lesson to you. He was still a dick. Yeah, people don't change that much. Remember vacations? Yeah, those were fun. Well, a while back, a guy at work went on vacation. He comes back, and he starts telling me all the things that went wrong about his trip. Don't do that because you weren't at work. You were on vacation. While you say that the food was overrated, I was at my desk eating a lean cuisine. While you say that there wasn't enough to do, I kept busy trying to figure out a new password with a special character, which is difficult for me, because I believe that all characters are special. Why are we creating class divisions between the characters? You're just an R. I'm an ampersand. I'm special. Snooty ampersand thinks it's part of the 1%. And don't get me started on the umlaut. And while you found the drinks to be watered down, I walked down the hall and found that there was no toilet paper, which I needed after the lean cuisine. So when it comes back to we're going on vacations, never complain about them again. I remember I was coming home from a show one night, and my wife calls and asks me to bring home something snacky. Snacky? That's not even a word. So I asked her what she wanted, and she said, something that I'd like. Oh no, that's not helpful. I'm pacing up and down the snack aisle like I'm waiting for a jury verdict or another shipment of toilet paper, which we all need. A guy comes over and asks, what can I do for you? I said, tell me what my wife would like. And he said, yeah, good luck with that. Ladies, tell us exactly what you want. You're complicated, and we're not. And you know this. I had to call Giant a few months ago, and I asked them if there was any flu vaccine in stock. And as I'm dialing, my wife says, tell them, ask for the pharmacy. No kidding. I just wish she told me that before. No wonder the produce guy got so confused. Except for the obvious thing, we only have two things on our minds: beer and football. My wife loves the show Say Yes to the Dress, but you notice that there's no comparable show for the groom. That's because it will last for 5 seconds every week. Tonight on Say Yes to the Tux. Guys, what do you think of this tux? Dudes, say yes already. Then we can get some beer. See you next time on Say Yes to the Tux. Beer shopping. That's shopping guys are good at. Men shop for beer the way women shop for shoes. Does this beer go with the TV? Does this freshness date match my outfit? Excuse me, do you have this in a size 12 pack? I hope we'll have a football season soon. I'm not a fan of any professional football team. I'm a Jets fan. And one day I went to visit a friend in a hospital in New Jersey. And I got worried because I drove up and I saw a sign that said, the official hospital of the New York Jets. The Jets haven't been in the Super Bowl for over 50 years. So what are you doing this for? Do the doctors fumble their scalpels? Do the doctors get confused during an operation and have to call a timeout? Because those are the Jets I know. I mean, why would you associate yourself with a team that never makes the playoffs? What does this say to your patients? I imagine there's some poor guy in the district. He gets hit by a car, he's put in an ambulance, he says, where are you taking me? And they say, don't worry, the official hospital of the Washington football team. And he says, I'm feeling better, I'll walk home. I was talking with my wife and she said, do you remember my old colleague Sharon? I said, no. And she said, she lives in the district. I said, no. And she said, she's black. And I said, I don't know why you're whispering. I'm pretty sure Sharon knows she's black. And still no. My old colleague Sharon is black and lives in the district. Well, now you're just saying the same thing in one complete sentence, and I have no idea. They had that beer you like, and you watch football at her house. Oh, yeah, that's it. Now I remember. Why did you say so in the first place? And that'll do it for me. I hope to see you in Frederick very soon. My name is Jeff Heisen. Thank you for watching.
Woo! All right. Thank you so much, Jeff. I appreciate it. Well, everyone, I figured that I'm also going to do a little comedy today, so I'm excited about that. I'm Stacy Axler. You can find me hosting Comedy Night at Sky Stage when Sky Stage reopens to the public the fourth Friday of every month. So I'm excited to see you in Frederick when the time comes to do so. Something I've been thinking about a lot lately is things that I am good at and things that I am bad at. Something that I've noticed that I'm pretty bad at is setting SMART goals. In case you don't know, a SMART goal is supposed to be an achievable goal that you set for yourself. So for example, if someone wants to climb a mountain, a non-SMART goal would be, I'm going to climb Mount Kilimanjaro. That might be a really extreme goal to set if you've never climbed a mountain before. So a SMART goal for that would be, I'm going to climb up Sugarloaf Mountain. That's a SMART goal. I've never been good at this aspect of myself. I always set really, really unattainable goals. So I've been spending a lot of time inside lately, and I decided one good way to pass the time would be to set a few SMART goals. A good SMART goal I could have set for myself would be to learn how to make food, because I'm not really good at that. Another good SMART goal I could have set for myself would be, organize my bathroom or organize the kitchen, pick a spot in my apartment that I could organize and then work on that. I didn't set any of those goals. The goal I set for myself was that I was going to figure out who the Zodiac killer was. This is not the first time that I have set this goal for myself. And I think that I would have learned by now how that is impossible. But the first time I set the goal that I was going to catch the Zodiac killer, I was 15, and the movie Zodiac came out in 2007. This movie stars Mark Ruffalo, and I just knew that I had seen that movie because I was going to gather all the clues and information needed in order to catch the Zodiac killer. But, life gets busy. I was in high school at that point, and I was studying for my SATs, and I let it fall by the wayside. And then I picked it up again when I was 23, was hot on the case, and now I'm 28 and I'm doing this again. It's very difficult to catch the Zodiac killer. I think that's why we've never conclusively figured out who he is. But just know that I'm still probably not going to figure it out. So if you have any information on this case, don't contact me, but maybe contact a professional. But yeah, SMART goals is something I wanted to work on. Another thing I've been thinking about a lot is movies that I used to like as a kid. As I said, was a huge fan of the movie Zodiac. Another movie I really liked as a kid was Matilda. Matilda was a great movie and also a great book. I'm pretty sure everyone knows what Matilda is, but if you don't, Matilda's about a very intelligent young child who kind of has like this super brain to the point where she can move things with her mind, and she basically saves an entire school. One thing I really like about Matilda is that it really unites people together. I've never met anyone who dislikes Matilda. And Matilda actually, when I was in school, was kind of brought up as an example when in reading class or an English class or a math class, when we were assigned homework to do, and me and the rest of the students would kind of grumble about it. All of my teachers would say, "Why can't you be more like Matilda?" Matilda's a fictional character, but she was still brought up as like the peak student you could be. Like teachers would be like, Matilda would be happy to get this homework. Matilda would be reading this book. Teachers love to bring up Matilda until the dark side of Matilda started to creep into their student body. Like, you'd love to bring up Matilda as the super reader and the super mathematician, but you also don't want your students running their principal out of school, and you don't want your students pretending that a dead father is possessing their blackboard and writing strange messages there, because when your students do that, then they get in trouble and they get sent to the principal's office, and it turns into this whole hullabaloo. So be careful what you wish for, educators. Like, Matilda is not all that's cracked up to be. It's so weird how I really like Matilda, because I really didn't like a lot of like musicals and movies about young girls. Like Eloise at the Plaza. I don't know if you know Eloise at the Plaza, but I hated Eloise. Basically, she was this young woman who would run around this huge hotel, the Plaza Hotel in New York, and I just thought that was so unrelatable. And I don't know why I'm going on this tirade about it, but I've been thinking about it a lot. And anyway, I'm just going to tell you all, don't watch Eloise at the Plaza. If you do anything during this time, please don't watch it, because you know what you should watch? Matilda, probably one of the best movies ever made. But that's it for me. I'm Stacy Axler. You have, I hope, been a wonderful audience. I can't see you, but I know you've been very nice. Up next is someone who I consider a Sky Stage regular to the max. This performer has been with Sky Stage since our very first comedy night that we ever did at Sky Stage. Very, very happy to have her doing this programming. So please welcome Sandy Bernstein.
Hey.
Oh, thank you so much, Stacy. And I just love Sky Stage. I look forward to it every year. So I'm hoping that sooner rather than later we'll be back there in Frederick. I don't know if you guys heard, but in Baltimore, crime has actually gone down because they're no longer out on the street corner selling drugs. They've switched to Purell. I mean, even the squeegee kids are in on it. And you won't believe the prices they're charging. I mean, $30 a squirt. I mean, that's more money than my ex-husband used to get at the sperm bank. But you know something, in all honesty, I think that Purell would be more likely to get you pregnant. I'm glad I'm not in quarantine with my ex. I mean, the only pillow talk that would be going on would be somebody begging for mercy while being smothered. My next door neighbor is paranoid about catching coronavirus. And how do I know this? Well, every time he leaves the house, he's wearing like 5 face masks. I think he's going to be more likely to die of asphyxiation than COVID-19. But me, on the other hand, I can't get a face mask to save my life. I ordered them 3 weeks ago. They're stuck in Rochester. So I've had to resort to using paper towels and rubber bands and a stapler. I mean, who knew I would be forced to do arts and crafts in quarantine? I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't be deleting all that spam I get from Michaels. Anyhow, yeah, I've had a little bit of time on my hands. So I've noticed a few things like, okay, well, do you guys know what Truvia is? It's a plant-based sweetener, comes in packets like Sweet and Low and Equal and Splenda. So I just noticed a couple weeks ago that on every packet of Truvia, they have these cheesy little inspirational sayings. I mean, Truviisms, if you will. And every time I read one of these, I just want to put my own spin on it. Like, for instance, Truvia says, "Be the sunshine in someone's day." Sandy says, "If you can't be the sunshine, moon them." Okay, now Truvia says, "Can-do attitudes are contagious." Sandy says, "So's herpes." Truvia says, "You got this." Sandy says, "Hey, I warned you about the herpes." So, guys, there's stuff that I'm missing now that I never thought I would miss. You know, like trying to find matching dumbbells at my gym, or performing at that shitty hookah bar that never turned off the TVs. Yeah, that's for you, comics. I'll tell you, man. Or single tracking on Metro. You know something? Okay, let's be honest here. I need to be in quarantine a few more weeks before I would actually miss single tracking on Metro. Let's be real here. But one thing that I am never going to miss is ironing. Yeah, my mom used to hate it when I'd wear wrinkled clothes. She'd be like, "What's the matter with you?" And I'd be like, "Well, I don't know. Must be an iron deficiency." So anyhow, I heard on NPR, humble brag, that sales of bidets have increased tenfold because of the toilet paper shortage. Now, I don't really know if a bidet would do the trick for me. Now, I don't want to get too personal here, but my anus is rugged terrain. I mean, there are a lot of crags and fissures and a fair amount of vegetation. Honestly, I think I need a pressure hose. But rather than running out to Home Depot, I use my head. I made an appointment to get my deck power washed so I can moon them. Right? I mean, try before you buy. And I get to be the sunshine in someone's day.
Oh.
Yes. But Harris Teeter has been very active lately on social media. They've been posting stuff for their customers, like when they're stocking toilet paper. You can find them on Twitter at Harris Tweeter. So I've been attending my Weight Watchers meetings remotely, And somebody today was talking about how they're having a hard time with chocolate, like chocolate's a drug. And I disagree, because, I mean, if it was a drug, you could say that if you use, you lose. But with chocolate, the opposite's true. But speaking of getting fat, my cat is getting fat because she's getting fed on demand now. And funny thing is, every time that I feed her dry food, she stares at her wet food dish. And I said to her, you know, if it was that easy to will something into existence, I would be staring at a photo of Idris Elba right now. But you know what? That logic is flawed, I realize, because she will be getting wet food eventually. Yeah. So I've taken up running since my gym's closed, and it is not a pretty sight, because I was flailing my arms so much that it thought that my fitness tracker thought I was having a seizure and summoned an ambulance. Yeah. So anyway, earlier today, my husband came into the room and he announced proudly that he had reorganized the pantry, cleaned out the refrigerator, and mopped the floor. And I was like, that's great. You deserve a pat on the back. And he's like, more like a standing ovation. And I'm like, nah, that would require me to get up off this couch. Now, don't judge me. I had to outrun an ambulance this morning. So I'm wondering if how many of you guys have done the census. You know, why are they in such a hurry for us to complete the census? I mean, aren't they afraid that a few months from now they will have overcounted? You know, I feel like I'm in an old Western where the sign painter is changing the population figure on the sign every time there's a shootout. Only in this scenario, bad guys are the COVID-19 gang, and it's the good guys who are wearing the masks. Let me tell you guys, I do not like this movie, and I do not want to see the sequel. You know, I think I want to watch a different movie when I get out of here. Maybe something to lift my spirits. I don't know, guys. What do you think? Tombstone or Schindler's List? Well, listen, I don't want to leave everybody on a downer, so I'll leave you with one last Truviaism, okay? Truvia says, sprinkle sweet moments throughout your day. Sandy says, be careful. That's how you start a Coke habit. Hey, I'm Sandy Bernstein. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope to see you in person later this summer at Sky Stage. Take it away, Stacy.
Oh, thank you so much, Sandy. That was awesome. Up next, I'm excited to welcome our headliner. Please welcome to the microphone, Mike Moran.
Guys, give it up for your host, huh? Now give it up for your parasite. I can't hear you. Still can't hear you. You guys, my name is Mike Moran. It's good to be here. I was thinking about changing that. You know how like sometimes comedians will change their names, you know, to make them more marketable? Like, did you guys know Jamie Foxx? Do you guys know the actor Jamie Foxx?
Yes.
He actually got his start in stand-up comedy, and his real name wasn't Jamie Foxx. He changed it to Jamie Foxx because he thought he would get more gigs if he had an effeminate-sounding name. That's true. Probably better that he got into acting because he clearly doesn't understand how stand-up works. But it got me thinking, perhaps I could do something similar and change my name to Jamie Foxx. Probably get more gigs that way, you know? I mean, just doing the same thing Jamie Foxx did. Why don't those guys change their names back? You know, how come they never change their names back after they're famous? It's not like Jamie Foxx is still showing up on the sets of movies and they're like, oh, Mr. Fox. Well, we were expecting a woman, but you know what? We'll go ahead and rewrite the Aretha Franklin story as Ray. We can change Harriet Tubman to Django. You guys, I can't see you at home, but I'm assuming you're staying off of your phones for the duration of this comedy show. So thank you for that. It is difficult. That is our competition these days. We just try to keep you off your phones for a while. And it's difficult because I can't compete with the entire internet. You know what I mean? Like if you wanted to right now, you could just put in your earbuds, go to YouTube, look up a better comedian than me, and watch him or her, and I wouldn't be mad at you. But you haven't done that, so thank you so much. Because it is crazy what our phones can do for us these days, isn't it? You ever have an app on your phone that you didn't even know you had until it saves your ass? Like the other day, I found out I have an app on my phone that'll actually alert me if I'm sitting at a red light and I don't notice that the light is turned green because I'm staring at my phone. My phone actually alerts me by setting off the horn of the car behind me. So, that's pretty cool. Guys, speaking of driving, I was on my way up here to the venue. And I saw one of those caution children at play signs. You know what I'm talking about, Sky Stage? I saw one of those and I said to myself, I'm in a car. I doubt they can hurt me. I'm in a car. I'm doing twice the legal limit. I am completely drunk. I am blackout drunk. If anything, they should be afraid of me. I'm texting while driving. And I don't mean on my phone. I mean I'm practicing my calligraphy. For those of you who don't know, calligraphy is what white people use to tag our turf. Okay? We love calligraphy. We love everything to be all medievally sounding, right? We can't just have a shopping center. It has to be the shops at Windsor's Falls. Like, dude, you're buying dog food. You're not getting knighted. Okay? You guys, if I could choose one superpower, I'd probably go with China. So this is exciting, everybody. Just a few days ago, I celebrated 17 years without a drop of alcohol. Can you believe that? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I don't give me too much credit, though. I've been addicted to crack this entire time. It's an expensive habit. No, I'm just kidding. I really am sober. I've just had to admit that I have an addictive personality. You know what I mean? But it's never for anything good. Like I had a friend come up to me recently and he's like, Mike, I can really relate to your addiction issues because I myself am a total workaholic. And I'm like, really? That's your drug of choice? Going to work and doing a really good job? And that's a problem for you? You never see a workaholic out on the street like, sir, do you happen to have a spare task I could excel at? Sir, I will fillet you for an assignment right now. Don't give him any money, dear. He's just going to invest in innovative new ideas that'll help mankind. Why don't you lose a job, you winner? No, in all seriousness, though, workaholism does run in my family, so I've decided it's best for me to just not work at all. I've never had a sex addiction. I'd like one, but it's the only addiction where the drug has to find you attractive. You know what I mean? Meth doesn't care if I put on a few pounds. You guys, this is exciting. I recently became a parent. How about that, huh? Thank you. Thank you. So, yeah, it's nice being a parent because before I was just somewhat obvious. So,
Yeah.
no, I am thinking about having kids. Who here at the Sky Stage wants to have kids with me? I was thinking about there are certain things that I would pass on or not pass on if I were to have kids. You know what I mean? Like I would never make my kids wear tighty whities. Did your parents make you wear tighty whities? Weren't those things horrible? They should just come with poop stains in them, shouldn't they? They really need to be tight and white.
Eh,
Like they're designed to humiliate children into toilet training. My mom wouldn't even throw them out after I'd stain them. She'd just wash them and use them as rags. Leave that fecal scarlet letter there to shame me. And I would never do that. Did your parents ever try to convince you that you have it so good as a kid and it's so hard as an adult? What a bunch of bunk that turned out to be. Like, what do we have to worry about as adults? Oh, she doesn't love me. I can't pay my bills on time. I'm existentially void. You know what kids worry about? Monsters. Monsters. Could you handle that type of anxiety as an adult? I remember my mom used to say to me, Michael, you keep crying about monsters and I'll really give you something to cry about. And then she'd hand me a copy of Schindler's List. Second Schindler's List reference of the night. So no, one thing I would definitely pass on though if I were to have kids. You guys remember those tablets where you get them wet and they turn into like spongy dinosaurs and animals? Weren't those cool? Like they were kind of hard to digest, but they made pooping so much more fun. You know what I'm saying? And less wiping that way. It is good though with all the computers and technology that kids can still enjoy the simple toys. You know, like my nephews really like those silly bands. You know what I'm talking about? Like Coldplay.
Oh, wow. Thank you so much, Mike. At this point, I want to thank all the comics that you saw today. I really appreciate them, and I hope you do too. So thank you so much to Jeff, Sandy, and Mike for entertaining us. Jeff, Sandy, and Mike, and myself typically participate in a section of Sky Stage programming called Comedy Under the Stars Comedy Nights. Sky Stage right now, like all performance venues, are closed to make sure and to prioritize the health and the safety of attendees and the entire community. But we all look forward to rejoining you and seeing you at the next Comedy Under the Stars Comedy Night in person once it is safe and secure to do so. Sky Stage is a wonderful art and performance venue located in downtown Frederick, Maryland. Not only do they host this comedy show, they host other comedy shows. They also host art shows, live bands, all types of other events. So if you want to find out more about their programming and how they're adjusting their programming during this time, you can find out more about them at skystagefrederick.com. Sky Stage is run in partnership with the Frederick Arts Council, and you can find out more about them online too. And Frederick Arts Council has a wonderful GoFundMe running right now that supports local Frederick artists. And if you want to support artists, which I truly encourage you to do, you can find out more about that in the GoFundMe that I am linking in this event description. Thank you so much for watching, and we look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.